What's up, everyone? Welcome to today's video. Welcome to the Video Game Fight School channel. Thank you very much for tuning in. A while back, PlayStation's Insomniac Studio got hacked, and in that hack, we saw that in their business analysis that they were claiming that their competition was ahead of them and had left their pillars behind in the competitive race. This was based on the fact that Xbox had acquired Activision Blizzard King. This was also based on their own analysis that Xbox had the capability to deliver their software on the PC platform through basically direct sales and also via subscription service. And it seemed like in their analyses, they needed to find a way to basically keep up with the competitive edge that Xbox had just newly basically solidified, because they already had these things in place. They already had their Xbox store a while back, and Activision was something that was just going on, and there was the possibility that they were not going to be able to get it. However, when they got the Activision thing, it was basically a no-brainer at the end of the day. So what I want to do in this video is I want to explore what a PlayStation storefront will look like on PC and how I think they can start to maybe make their inroads and then be able to keep up with the competition as it is on PC. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at Xbox right now. Xbox is in a position where, in my opinion, if you actually think about it, Xbox right now already has a PC storefront. On this PC storefront, Xbox's business strategy is, number one, be able to sell games to PC players if they're interested. I mean, there's Steam, so many will probably not be. And number two, be able to go ahead and deliver Game Pass PC, which is a subscription service that some are interested in, or at least a good number are. Now, with this alone, Xbox has already leaped ahead of PlayStation because now they have a direct delivery, which provides them a lot of profit in terms of all of the sales that are made here stays profitable for Xbox. And again, if they're Game Pass subscriptions that are sold here or EA Play subscriptions or whatever, that also still makes them money. On the PC storefront, PlayStation has nothing except going through Steam, which I strongly believe that if PlayStation actually created a launcher that provided even some of the capabilities that Steam provided, tweak their terms of service to be able to, fit the PC market, they can stay competitive, in my opinion. So what are some of the capabilities and some of the things that Steam has that keeps it attractive? Number one is the name and the fact that its creator has mostly been consumer friendly for the longest time. This is something that PlayStation has had a hard time with. This is why I took myself back from PlayStation to the PC. I returned to PC because PlayStation just did not have a value proposition. However, when they choose to decide to, which they'll eventually, because the market competition is going to snuff them out if they don't worry, PlayStation loyalists. You think your loyalty is going to keep PlayStation in this market? Good luck. Now, they can basically come out here, get a storefront, and pretty much remove the online play requirement. That's paying to play. Now, this is going to be a storefront for them. And for the most part, it sounds crazy that they're going to do that in the face of their own PlayStation, audiences. However, they're already doing it. Games like Helldivers 2 is a game that you don't need to pay for a PlayStation Plus, thing to play on. You could just basically come here and you can pretty much, get the game and you can play online as you want. You can even play crossplay with PlayStation players who pay for their online subscription service to also play the game. Now, here's one thing that I want to say. I'm not saying that their PlayStation account requirement needs to be removed, seeing that people are still playing Ghost of Tsushima regardless. I mean, it's not really a big deal for most people because even on the Xbox side, you still have to have an Xbox account of some kind to be able to use their store in this regard. So a PlayStation account to me is not out of the question. They can keep that if they want to. However, this is something that may also deter a lot of gamers as time goes on. I've looked at their God of War, PC thing. And if you look at that, they say account for PlayStation Network required. Some people might be willing to deal with it. Some people might say, you know what? I'm going to wait for the game to get on the good old game store. And then I'm probably going to go ahead and maybe think about it because you guys know there's a DRM free version of the first God of War game. And even if you look at, say, the first God of War game on Steam, it did not require a PlayStation account for you to play. So many people might actually have to rethink this, seeing that PlayStation seems to now be tightening their terms of service and they may not be attracted. So PlayStation would have to really, really think about this, seeing as they had established where they allowed some of their games to basically go without any of these, requirements. And then now they simply want to go back and put it. So it may not necessarily be something that would work out for them. However, just the Steam capability side in my opinion, would probably help them. The second thing that I think that they'll probably go ahead and need to do is possibly, and I'm not saying they need to create a subscription service, because in their own analyses, they kind of said that they didn't really have enough money to go ahead and do something like that. So maybe they can start providing DRM-free titles directly to try to maybe undercut the competition of DRM-free titles. Now, this is something that a lot of game publishers don't want to do, but CD Projekt Red is committed to this particular paradigm that you should be able to own your games. Now, I see a lot of console players say, on console we can own our games and PC is all digital, mostly all digital, but on PC you can also own your games. You can also own them legally, or you can sail the high seas. I'm not telling anybody to sail the high seas. I'm just showing you good old games, which here on this platform, any game that you buy for the most part is DRM free, and you have access to that game whenever you want. In fact, what's crazy is you can actually decide if you want to download the Good Old Games launcher. I've seen some people say you have to, and I'm like, yeah, you actually have the option to. You don't have to. Or you can basically download the game files for your own installation and install them as you want. You can mod them if you want, but you have to follow also the policies that are in place, just as you would if you had a physical copy or a physical disc. I've seen some people also say, physical disc is great, physical media. And I'm like, you do know that on that physical media exists the digital version and installation files of the game, right? So it's basically the exact same thing. The only difference is I just have the file and I can see it, and you can't really see the file unless maybe your PlayStation is capable of looking at those kinds of things. So if PlayStation is to come to PC, which I think they'll eventually do so, don't get me wrong, they're not going to sit on in the behind spot for the longest time. I think these are some of the things that they're going to need to do to appeal to the PC audience. Now, if they do not make this commitment, then in my opinion, I think they're probably maybe banking on something else. And what that is, I could not tell you, because to me, I don't necessarily think that this market is going to tolerate something as such. I think the market is so competitive. The market right now is just, in my opinion anyway, so jarring in what we've been seeing in the last few years. All of the layoffs that we've been seeing, people may be able to say, oh, we're going to chalk those up to, maybe staff that didn't seem like they were needed. But that's not what we're hearing. We're hearing that some of these staff that were actually laid off were actually needed in some instances. And so now, the gaming scene changing so hard, it's going to require for them to basically revise, their own strategy and their own, paradigms. But these are my thoughts. I'd love to hear yours in the comment section. Thanks so much for watching the video. Appreciate you guys' time and audience. Hopefully we'll talk pretty soon in another one. Peace out.